Good morning. How's it going? I hope everyone hears and sees me well. I will share my screen in a second because I will be coding a bit and hanging out, what people do on a Saturday morning. Still have my coffee. Hope you had a good weekend thus far. As I mentioned on Twitter, we are doing end-to-end testing today because we don't have enough of those. Not nearly enough. All right, I see already someone from the Playwright team wrote me. I will put this on a separate screen because, yes, I have many questions. First question, when watch mode? All right, I will share my screen. It's the big screen, so apologies. What did I say? Saturday? Oh yeah, it's Sunday, of course. I made VS Code a little bit bigger so you can read if possible, or read a little bit better at least. But I will not, like usually I share the small screen of the MacBook, so things are a bit bigger in YouTube videos. But yeah, when I'm coding, I can't do it on a side little screen. Or I don't want to. So why testing and in general, what's the situation at Parqet regarding that? So end-to-end testing, we used Cypress until now, and we didn't have nearly enough tests. I think we can safely say, I think it's not even worth saying that we had tests, that little. So we had the same bugs repeating like recently, especially the app becomes much more complex. So here is the app, by the way. I will log in quickly in a demo portfolio, test portfolio. Things become complex, things become messy. You will see a lot of wrong data here, like missing logos and things. That's just because it's a development environment, so don't worry about that. And we have to write more tests. So as we didn't have a lot of tests with Cypress in the first place, I looked a little bit around and got recommended Playwright from Microsoft. This one here, as an alternative to Cypress. Seems to be more reliable, has a lot more things out of the box, especially multiple browsers, parallelization, hard word for me, and things like that, which is great. So far, what I tested Saturday evening, yesterday, what regular people do on a Saturday evening, Saturday night, it was pretty good. I mean, it was easy to set up, it was easy to launch. There are a few problems that I have, not with Playwright itself, but with our overall setup. I will get to that in a second. But yeah, so far it's pretty good, and I need to write more tests, so I will do that now. And we can chat a bit if you want to. So I've set it up yesterday. There is a Playwright config that is not very big so far. It just has the base URL. In this case, the base URL is localhost for local development, of course. And that's about it. I have only one folder, test e2e, with the tests in there. I think it's a better folder structure if we have the tests with the pages and components later. But there will be some tests that span entire user journeys that don't fit into a specific component or page. And currently, as there are more files that are named .spec.js here, which are not Playwright end-to-end tests, so I don't want Playwright to run them. That's why I have this only in this folder here, and in our package.json you can see that there is the folder specified for which I run the tests. So I also installed a nice VS Code extension, and can basically click here play on the tests, and yeah, they will run. So one thing that Playwright does not have, which is a bit annoying during development, is watch mode, so that I can basically say watch, and when I write tests, it runs them automatically, at least the file that was changed. And I asked Max, who is maybe in the chat. Hello, Max. Cool that you're here and that you reached out and told me that I can reach out for questions. So let me quickly read his answer to see if watch mode is on the horizon. All right, so no e2e. I also saw in the documentation, if you look here for watch mode, it says planned work, watch mode. Basically, the only item in the planned work section is watch mode. All right, let's hope it comes. Until then, I manually click execute. Now, what do we want to test today? I have to, as I have to pitch Playwright as an end-to-end solution for Parqet tomorrow to the team, I want to write basic things to make it easy to write tests. And that means handling authentication, logged in state, logging out, etc., and handle some basic tests like sign up, login, sign up, sign in, log out, launching protected pages. And ideally, if we get to it, I would like to test this form, which is super complex because it has things like the search here. It has everything depends on each other. So for example, there are settings of the user. If I change the date here, the price updates, but only for specific types. If I do dividend, for example, then obviously the price here is not what we want. We want the dividend. So it was maybe this. And if I now change the date, it should not update the price, which is correct here. But this was a recent bug, for example. Or that if this is a locked field, so it's automatically calculated, then this should also never update the price because the price is set by whatever I invest here and the shares. Things like that, right? So very detailed things, but these are small bugs that every now and then show up again because we changed something on the form, we added something and simply forgot or didn't test manually. There are so many cases here, you cannot test this manually anymore. And you shouldn't. There should be tests for it. So things like that. I would love to get to that today, but let's see. I will set up some basic groundwork first. Good morning. Sebastian asked where the test being executed, and that is a very good question. While I will start, I'm trying to code while talking to you, so let's see. So we, for now, the test will be executed locally. I did try to set up this with our CI pipeline. The problem is all of our pull requests get automatically deployed to render. Like the web app is hosted on Render. I recently wrote a tweet about it. We just switched from Vercel. Now Render doesn't have a good GitHub integration like Vercel does. So the problem is that even though the pull requests are deployed to Render, we get a preview URL and everything. This is where I want to run the tests against. So what I did I have a GitHub action here where I basically say, please run our tests against this URL, the preview URL of Render, and I build it basically myself with the preview number in it. That's very hacky, and the tests run immediately and not wait for the deployment to be finished, which is of course which sucks. It can it works a little bit, but it doesn't work correctly, basically. Because whenever you push something to a pull request, the tests will run against the previous commit that was deployed. And you basically would have to trigger the tests manually after deployment on the pull request, which is better than nothing, but it's not what we want, obviously. What we want ideally is you push code to a pull request, it gets deployed to render, render triggers a deployment notification on GitHub or whatever, or we can just wait somehow for the deployment to be finished, and then the tests execute against the preview environment. With Vercel, that works because there are GitHub actions, GitHub actions marketplace. There are GitHub actions that are named wait for Vercel, which basically does exactly that. Do you have GitHub actions, Cypress, that depends on Vercel preview URL? This action will wait until the URL is available before running the next task. Exactly what I want. I want this for render. And the output here, I think, is the preview URL here, which is fantastic. So that is what we want ideally. We don't have that yet. So until then, until render does some GitHub integration magic, by the way, let's see, feedback render GitHub. It's pretty far upvoted, 100 votes on the render feature requests. So hopefully this comes, but I mean, it's open since 2019, so I'm not very hopeful. But again, it's still better to be able to run end-to-end tests locally than to not have them at all. And what I wanted to ask you here is, maybe there are good services to execute these tests hosted somewhere against URLs that we pass with a hook or something. That is, then we build a custom solution around that without GitHub actions and things like that. But ideally, like, we want a check in the pull request of GitHub. So I don't think this is very, like, that environment is very developed so far, but I hope we will get there. It's easy, you could write a run command script which checks the URL. Yeah, the problem is the URL alone it's not enough because while that is correct, if you trigger the pull request for the first time and there is no previous deployment on that URL, yes, then that's right. You could check the health endpoint, for example, and once it returns 200, you can execute a test. But in subsequent commits, render has a 0 downtime deployment. That means if you commit again and it redeploys, the old commit is still deployed and available on that URL until the new deployment is ready. That means the health check will return always 200 for subsequent commits. That means the solution of checking the URL of render works for the first time when you create a pull request, but it doesn't work when you do subsequent commits, I think. I'm not sure if if render is using the GitHub deployment API at all. I'm also not sure how to do that in GitHub Actions, because in GitHub Actions I can only do Playwright. I can only do on pull request. If I do on deployment, it's not a check in the pull request. So I think I can do here on deployment, and it might execute when render does a deployment, but then it's not a check in the pull request. So I have to have something here to wait, like a GitHub action to wait for the deployment or something. Yeah, but that is not something I will solve here in this live stream. It's just something I wanted to bring up. If you have tips or something, put them in the chat, write me on Twitter. We want to have this automated in our CI pipeline. Until then, we will definitely execute locally every now and then. And what I was also wondering is how you would do end-to-end test as kind of a monitoring, like have this, have an external service run the tests every hour or something. And what I was also wondering is how does one normally does end-to-end testing on production with users? So for example, if we do a sign up test, like you obviously don't want to spam production with new signups. It would, create all kinds of fake data on our statistics and everywhere. So yeah, I don't know how to do that yet. So today, or for now, we will definitely do that on test, but we will, yeah, not do that on production for now until we figure out how to best do that. Now what I want to do is I will start a new file. signup.spec.js. So for now I want to test the sign up and on dev, and then I want to make that something that Playwright executes or can execute. Or let's put it this way, we need to store the sign up state so subsequent tests don't always have to sign up. So if you want to test this portfolio here, we need to sign in as this user. Yeah, and obviously you don't want to do that before every test. So that is written down in the documentation here. We will get to that. But now, first, I want to go to the sign up page, which is, so we will go to, I need to copy and paste a lot of stuff. I will not write all of this. So we will go to / which should be localhost. Oh, by the way, what I also don't know is how to, make this visible. There's probably a flag that I can do to be able to see what what Playwright does. Currently, I just click on debug test to be able to see that. So I want to go to the sign up page. That means I click on this register button, and I'm sure you guys know a much better way for doing this than I do right now. So I will search for the A tag with this link. Await page, click. I think this is how to do it, right? Click, yes. And then the register button, the sign up button. Then we should be on this page. So I will check if there is an H1 thingy. Oh, markets. I need my other specs to see. Okay, this to be visible. This is what I want. Bei Parqet registrieren to be visible. Now this should already succeed, hopefully. Whoops, double click, nope. This should be it. Execute. Did I already break it? Stop. So let's debug it. That's pretty cool, the debug thing. So now I can see what's happening. And this might not be an H. Oh, I know what the problem is. I have to do text equals, I think. Yes. Something like this. Yeah, okay, this test passes. I have to check the chat a little bit. Yeah, the Cobalt 2 theme in VS Code is awesome. Mark's giving good tips, thank you. By the way, I thought about doing some background music. Like there is this studio.youtube.com/music where if I make it a little bit quieter, you know, I could play some music like this. I don't know if this is annoying to you or not, but I didn't find a playlist version for YouTube music, like basically royalty-free music, just singer music items, and I didn't want to, you know, always go there and click play. All right. Let me know if the music is annoying. My new MacBook still autocorrects? Where did you see that? I didn't see that. Okay, so sign up. Let's sign up. So we will do, how can we input fill? So page fill, that's email, and the other one is probably ID password. Yep. Password, and that is Playwright at randomemail.com. I hope that's no one's real email. And password is just end-to-end test. Now that should create a sign up, and after sign up we should be able to wait for a wait for what happens after that. So let's sign up here. Let's try this end-to-end test. Oh, we need at least 8. Okay, let's do. So now I have a portfolio. So I will wait for this. Mine portfolio h1. Waiter means locator. Wait, locator. H1 locator text equals. I hope I'm doing that right. Mine portfolio. Is it page.locator? Yes. Wait for, and then this should be visible. This is the onboarding. So let's make page.locator text to be visible. Let's see if that works. That is our sign up test. Maybe I did a mistake there. Takes too long. Let's check the debugger. Oh, it will not work with the sign up because the email address already exists, I guess. Yeah. Of course. So that is probably also something where we will create cascading problems if a test fails and the user is not properly cleaned up. So what I will do now, I will add the test for account deletion as well. So they should click on this section up here, which is the user menu button. Await page, click, user menu button, await page, click, and then the profile page. So we test the navigation there as well. Click like this. So now the user should be at the account section here. So they should be able to see dein Profil. Oops, I will wait for that here. I see you are writing in the chat. I just have to pause coding to read it. So I will wait for that. Dein account löschen. So basically click on the delete account button, which I can just check by the text. So it's basically account löschen. And what happens afterwards? Account löschen. Oh, I have to type in a reason. Cool, we can test all of that. Text area ID reason. Await page.fill. I'm a bot. And then click on this one. Now, normally, of course, you don't want to click on elements based on their text, but rather have IDs associated with the buttons and everything. But I don't have IDs everywhere. I rarely use IDs. So this is the first use case where IDs make sense. So we will start using IDs more, or name attributes or something. So we don't have to do this here, but do more things like this. Especially important if you have if you are multi-language and things like that. So all right, we click on account, delete account, and then we should be on the markets page. So we will then wait for, how can we know that we are on the markets page? Performance-Vergleich, I guess this one here. So we wait for the text Performance-Vergleich. Now I should be able to register again with that email. And hopefully this test passes. Now before I execute, I check the chat. Okay. I'd recommend to use locators instead of page.fill. That means I do how would I do that then? Wasn't that here? Fill. Not Android device. Where are my guides? Guide auto-weighting input. What's the other way to do it? Page. Is it dot locator, then the selector, and then fill what? Fill expects an... Oh, like this? No, that's also a selector. Oh, for the click. Ah, I thought for the fill. Ah, okay. Yes, okay. I can do that. Dot locator dot click. Yeah, that I think works better too. Where do we have clicks as well? Here we make this. We can do this for all of them. So we do locator dot click. Great. Now let's go for the fill as well. Oh, it's then dot fill, but isn't the first parameter of a fill the selector? Oops. What's the problem? To be visible is not a function? Oh. Oops. Expect. By the way, I don't have any assertions here. Where's this other to be visible? Expect. Yes, okay. I mean, if this fails, there is something wrong, but I wonder if there is some expect URL to be blah blah blah, because that would then I can, you know, assert the redirects that are happening. But now I think I have... Did it sign up correctly? I assume it signed up correctly, which means the test will fail now. Yes. So let's delete the user. And try this again. Oh, stupid mistake. I have to click on the sign up button, obviously. Otherwise, nothing will happen. So it's here. It's a button with type submit. Can I do this? Text equals? I will not try it now. So type submit and then click it. Obviously. But yeah, okay. Let's test it again. 2 elements. Ah, all right. Yeah, okay. Then we locate by text as well, because that is the only one with that text. Oh, we can go in, no, we will do it by text. Dot locator, and Max did another great, posted another great tip into the chat, which is I can test the URL by page to have URL. So I want to do that as well. So after submit, the page should have the URL. Let's quickly check the docs on that, because I want to know if it's strict or not. To have URL. Oh yeah, okay, this is what I want. Great. P. I'm not good with regex, so let's see what this does. The page to have this URL. And after I click on delete account, I want to have it markets. Yes. Good. Ready to test this again. I have to delete the user again. No. Oh, I did a mistake again. Text equals. All right. Stop. And now I have to sign in again as this user. That is very annoying if a test fails for whatever reason here, and then we have to delete the user manually. So that, I don't know, maybe we have to do a cleanup that regularly runs and deletes test users or something. I don't know. All right. Ooh. That almost worked. And now the URL when you delete wasn't the correct one, so let's try this. Email, oh my god. So all good except the last, except the last check. It's markets. And it says it received an empty string. Somebody writes await. Really? Do I have to await expects as well? Oh yeah. Thank you. Oops. Await everything. Await. Good. Thank you. once more. Awesome. Thank you. All right. We have a test that checks sign up, or go to sign up page, sign up, validate new portfolio page, go to settings, delete account, and validate or assert account deletion redirect. Good. Yeah, understood, Max. Makes sense. Good, good, good. Okay, okay. We have a valid test. I guess there are a few things that we will, at some point, like if we go to, like we will abstract them away. So reuse authentication state. That is what I want to test now. So I know the sign up is working. So what I want to do now is I want to create a login. What is it called? Fixture? No. Basically a login that executes before all. And I want to save the state and reuse that. Whoops. So I always need a signed up user for that. So let's create a user that always exists on dev, and we will use that. So we call it Playwright basic user. Why? Because that is someone without a subscription, right? So it's a free user. Now let me create a file first where we will do this. The following example automates the login on GitHub before the browser. Yes, but session storage. But where should I write it? Just a separate file or in the config? I have to check how this before all stuff works. So yeah, okay, that's in the same file, but I want to do it across files. So I basically need something that runs before all tests of all files and saves the authentication state into this file here, so it can be reused in the tests, but not in all tests. So I know I have to do this with use, like test.use, which is fine, but how do I execute something before every test? Yeah, Sebastian, I know what you mean. But the authentication state, I like at least that one I want to do. So I will not sign up for the subsequent tests. That is just a test here. But I will create a user that always exists on dev that is there to test as a free user, and one with a subscription. So I will basically create one user per state that we have. A subscriber, one with the highest tier, one is a beta user, one is a free user, etc. So I will create them and have them always available, but I still need the login state. So I don't want to, oh no, I can commit the login state, as far as I know. It was written, I read it before somewhere. Oops. Authentication. Reuse signed in state. No. Global setup. Global setup JS. That's probably what I need. No, I use Playwright, Bernard. Max sent me a better guide for that. Oh, I thought that's the one I'm already on. Yeah, I think. Max, that was the link you sent me. I'm not sure if you wanted another one. It's test runner optimized versus for Playwright library. Yeah, so okay, yeah. So global setup, I guess that's what I want. But I also read here, if I'm not totally stupid, here, if you can log in once and commit storage state JSON into the repository, you won't need the global setup at all. Just specify storage state JSON in Playwright config as above, and it will be picked up. So let's do that. Let's do that. So what I will do is, what's the next test we want to write? We want to write a test that creates an activity, okay? So we will do activity.spec.js. I will put this stuff in here and create activity. So the first thing we want to do is we want to sign in. We just do this once and store the credentials basically, or whatever the session. However this is done, we will see how this is done. So we will go to the login page, this one, right? Then we will fill this stuff with a user that I have to create. So let's create that user. What did I say? Playwright basic user randomemail.com and password. So I put this here. I guess this is also something that I should do in Envas, which I will do at some point. So we have the basic user, we leave it as it is. So this test should be able to sign in. And we call this storage state.json. basic user. But I don't want to have it here. Can we do this in tests e2e states? So it's not cluttering the root. Let's see if that works. Create activity. We should get a new file out of that. No such file or directory. Tests e2e states basic user. Sure. Let's see what the path. I don't know where their root is. So let's just do this and see where it will store it. Oh, that is a bit annoying. I want a watch. I want a watcher. Good, that worked. So where is the basic user.json? It's in the root, is it? Yes, here it is. Nothing's in there, so I don't know how this will store the state. I'm a bit confused. Dot tests, thanks Max. Good. Yeah, Sebastian, that's true. I test if the signup works there and the account deletion. But it's true. There needs to be a separate cleanup, I guess, in case the account deletion fails inside the test or whatever. So you mean one test run prepares for the next one. It's also very error prone if we have multiple pull requests running at the same time. This will fail. So ideally, this should be random. There should be a random factor in here. Let's do that. Then this test can't fail. Now you see my coding skills. JavaScript, random number, date string, whatever, current date. Get date time string or something like this. What will this yield? No, new date, no. Date.now. Yes, this one. Let's use this. Now we have a lot of different email addresses and we can run a script that looks for this and always deletes those accounts. But at least the tests will not hit each other. Yeah, on development, it's a shared database. So it's not a, again, we basically want to test a web app. Our integration tests on the API side, they start their own MongoDB and things like that, their own database, but this one is a shared database. Let's see. Let me run the test again and see if it works. I'm sure this is not the best setup, and I think my team will also have a few things to say about that. But if it works for now, we just have to get started. We can optimize it and everything. Okay, that still works. Great. Now, how does that thing work? So now I should have I have that, like, let me run that again. I should have it in the correct folder then. But I have no idea how that will. Did it work? Oh, this one. I have no idea how this should do a sign-in because there is nothing in here. Basically, we can delete this. So we have the basic user JSON, and what it wants us to do now is make use of it, like here, but we don't want to have it globally. We want this per test. And this is done like this. So here I will do test.use storage state and then this path. And I will remove this. So now if I commit this file, I should have a logged in state. And we will test this. Await page.go to, and the portfolio of the user is this ID. So we will go to /p/ and I should be able to see my portfolio. Await expect page.locator. I'm getting proficient with it. Can already write without looking it up or copy paste. To be visible. Now, what I think will happen is we will get a 4 or 1. But let's see. What? It worked? Really? Let's click this one. Go to activities, create, and then we should see this one up here. Locator. Is this the only H2 on the side? Should be an H1. Yes. Locator H2. It's not. It's hard to what to test here. You know what to expect. Because this is also, I mean, it says neue Aktivität hinzufügen. I can test that, but I have to close some things here. Stream Deck, I can close that. And here it says just neue Aktivität, you know, on mobile. That's So I will test if this button is available. Locator text equals Dateien auswählen to expect to be visible. Checking the chat. Expect in line 1, not in line 5. I'm not sure what you mean right now. What? Is that... So if I remove that, it should not work? No, something's wrong. Something is wrong. Await page, go to... You imported expect incorrectly. Thank you. That makes sense. So now it should not work. 401. Yes. Now redirects to login. Fine. That is expected. So now this should do it, but it can't work. Yeah. So I'm not sure how this should work if the logged in the user looks like this. So maybe I did something wrong with storing it. Yes, I did a mistake probably. Admin page, I didn't use this one, so I should have been, my English sucks, sorry. I think in the wrong terms right now. So I probably have to sign in. Oh, here I did it. Page.contact storage, storage state. This should have stored probably cookies and stuff. Like if we go to application, cookies, there is the Parqet access token and everything. So I'm also wondering if that like always works, the storage state, or I'm not sure. Yeah, no, Sebastian, I have to log in. The hope was that here I'm trying to reuse signed in state, and Playwright does that by storing the context of the page in a file, which I assume is like, cookies and access tokens and whatever, and then reuses that. And it says if we commit the file to the repository, we don't need global setup at all, and we don't need to sign in. We just reuse the signed in state, basically. I was wondering how that would work with, invalidation of API keys or JWT tokens or whatever. I'm not sure how that should work, but I wondered maybe there is some magic I don't understand. But yeah, it doesn't work now. And instead of debugging that, because I'm skeptical that this will work, that when our sessions expire, that this will still work with a committed session of a user. So I assume I have to log in. I performed the login here. I performed the login here, which created the file in the first place. So here, go to auth login, put in the email, put in the password, type, click the submit button, and then save the JSON. This is what I did. So I delete the JSON once more to check if that works. Let's execute. And it says no such file or directory again. Tests e2e states. Basic user is what you should create. Anyway, let's do it once more like this, because apparently I'm too stupid to write paths. I execute it once more. Oh, now I see what the problem is. So I also have to remove the use. So again, now we are at square one. Okay, we don't have a logged in state. I will launch this test once to create the logged in state. Okay, auth login, email, password, sign in, and then store the state, the context in basic user JSON. This is at least how it's written here. It says, go to the page, fill in email password, click sign in, and then store. This is basically what I'm doing. So let's do it. See once more what's happening. Yep, this was done. The file is there, but it's empty. And I'm not sure why, but I don't want to rely on that. I mean, if it works, cool, but saved auth state, I'm very skeptical that it will work with session refreshes and things like that, or session expiry. Wait until you are logged in. Okay. Also correct. Await page dot. We have to wait for this one, right? So people here are much smarter than me. Luckily, I have them in the audience. Wait for. Let's try once more. Let's see what's happening. Okay, there's probably an error here. Thanks for pointing out that I have to wait for it. So let me quickly check if I did something wrong on the button or something on the elements. So this is the sign up page. We have ID, email, that's fine. We have ID, password, that's fine. And the login is a type submit, so that should still work. Target closed. Oh no, that was me. Let's execute it once more and see what's happening. So again. It doesn't input this stuff correctly. Let me do what Max suggested before. Oh no, fill, okay. No, that's, I have to wait for the login page maybe before I do fill. It looked like it doesn't correctly fill fill the input fields. So let's do this. Let's see how far we can get now. Aha, that looked better, but it still didn't log in. It still did not log in. But why? Are there multiple? Are there multiple submits or something? Button. Curiouser and curiouser. So it correctly filled out the email and password this time, but when it clicks a login, it doesn't work. So there is apparently, so the person who recommended this to me said there is a slow motion option. Where's it? Slow-mo. Here. Chromium Launch Headless Falls Slow-mo. Can I do this here? And can I do this? Chromium? Let's give it a try. Oops, wrong one. No, that's probably wrong. I usually don't have enough patience to find out things like that. Let me read the chat. Sumit, you can search by XPath in Chrome. Okay, cool. Yeah, but it looked like it's the only button. So let me run that again. It looks like, I mean, the URL even changes. So when I sign in here with the same user, if I sign in here with the same user, I want to check something. Preserve log. Because the query parameters suddenly show the details, which I assume should only happen for a split second. So let's check what's happening here. Blah, blah, blah. There are no... And if I run the test, I think this might be already a bug. Let me change something on the sign-in page. Oops. Because, no, not sign-in, it's auth. it's login, right? And then there is the user authentication, and we have this button, and I think we didn't. So what I'm wondering is, like, do we really do an HTTP submit, which I don't think we do. Normally we have add click handlers like here, and with the button you would have to do, like, you would have to prevent the default. And from looking at it, my guess would be that we do, like, the test is doing an HTTP submit, and then it's just not handled. But as there is a normal submit button here, and then we have this one. So where is the submit happening? Oh, up there. Okay. Submit, prevent, handle, submit. So it looks like this is not executed. Oh, Bernard says add button submit. Add type submit. Really? Like this? But I mean, it works with the other buttons as well. Let's see. Oh, wrong one. This one. Add submit. Unsupported. I don't know. Doesn't want an add there. And I think it clicks the button as well. We can see by the URL change. Boom. It's just not handled here. But if I click it myself, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It works. That is weird. Because here in handle protected route, I'm testing this as well. Handle protected route. No, sorry, it's auth.spec. Here I have it like, yeah, the same. I type in email password of a predefined dev user. So let's test if this still works. And if yes, let's change it to the other user. Yeah, here the sign-in works perfectly. All right, that worked perfectly. So let's change the user here to this one. And see if it still works. Oh, so it will fail because the names. Oh, here the login works. Okay. Okay. So what's different here? I checked the login page. I checked the login page. Am I on the wrong page? No, auth login. Oh, I know. I think I know. I think I know, my friends, and it might be a little bug. Let's say an unhandled thing. Okay, this could work now. Yes, there we go. That's a stupid bug. It's a stupid bug, my friends. But okay, so what's up here? For strict mode, text value resolves 2 elements. Okay, no problem at all. We do locator. Let's go in. And this one. I will tell you what the bug is, if you haven't figured it out by now, which I'm sure you have. Locator h1. Okay, let's do this once more. Let's test all of them just to see that they worked, and then the file should be finally created. All green, all green, all green, all green. Yes, all green. The file is there and it has data. Oh my god. So the problem was that the login did happen, in fact. It's a bug. I will write it down. If you, like, normally a user does not go to auth/login directly. If you go there directly, there is no redirect target. So the user is just not redirected. The login happened, but the page just didn't redirect the user, which is a bug. There should be a default for it. So I will note that down. Using, at least that's what happened there in the test. We can validate that. If I go to auth/login, I don't know if it redirects me now, but that at least what was happening in the test. Like, there was no redirect happening for some reason. There was the difference between the two tests. Here it works. I don't know. I don't know why this didn't work, but anyways, it works now. We have a logged in state. We have that file, and now I comment all of that out. I comment all of that in. This should again cause me to land on the login page, because there is no logged in state now. Let's try. So I land on the login page, that's expected. Remove. And now I use the basic user file that was created. And now we should have the logged in state from the beginning, and it should be able to access the user's portfolio. That worked. Oh my god. I'm still skeptical that this will work tomorrow or whenever the session expired, but we can try. Yeah, Sebastian, something like this. There's a return URL missing or something like that. Okay, cool. That worked. That worked. The test passes. We have a logged in state out of a file. That's pretty amazing. Thanks for helping me debug. That's why we do coding live streams, right? I just noticed that my Stream Deck app is gone, so I will relaunch that real quick. So I can play music, right? Okay. Because I have to go to the restaurants real quick and be right back. And we'll play you some music while I'm gone, but let me quickly check what I will do next. So we have a test that logs in and goes to this page. That works. And now we can, I don't know, we can test that this is never shown, or that this calculation stuff here works. Possibilities are endless. I know something. We can test that the query parameters work. Type equals dividend should result in that the selector here has dividend selected. So how can I check that? My cat wants some piece of the action. Doesn't HTML tell me which is the selected option? Shouldn't there be a selected, or here a value or something? Oh, that I can for sure. There is something here. Input, checkbox and radio button is checked. Select option. Select option. Is checked. Is selected. Something like that here. Cool. Torben, thanks for suggesting Playwright. That's reassuring. Okay, Max, thanks. Yeah, so expiration, Max on the Playwright team recommends that we move the login to the global setup. And I think, yeah, I'm going to do that as well. So once before all of the tests run, login to the basic user, store that. Login to a plus user, store that. Login to an investor user, store that. And from then the files are created and the tests can use those files. So the tests themselves don't have to do the login. But it's not like a test run, like a test suite run. A run of the test suite never has to log in. Otherwise, yeah, you need to disable your session expiry or something. So I'm wondering how, like, if anyone knows it, we have a couple of Playwright experts and enthusiasts in the chat. If any one of you knows how to check which option of a select box is selected, please write it in the chat. Until then, I will quickly go to the restroom für kleine Programmierer and play you some music while I'm out. See you in a second. I am back. Thanks for waiting. Okay, let's let the music fade out. That was not a fade. That's a fade. Okay. Yeah, Torben, if you know Cypress, would be great to hear or read what you think is better at Playwright. So no answer on the select yet. Selects one or multiple options. You can specify value label or element handle to select. Multiple options can be selected. Cool. I want to know what is selected. How can I check that? I would have thought this has the selected attribute, honestly. So I will just look for that. Locator. Here we have at least IDs. So I want the activity type field, and I expect. Now, how can I expect the options? It doesn't tell me. Playwright expect select value. Yeah, okay, this is what I wanted to have. Selected, that's what I thought. Activity field dot locator no, I expect the selected option and then to have value. So is the, okay, Max, if Max says that it should be right, await expect locator to have value. All right, so I guess the select itself has the value, right? Not the option. So I can do this to have value, and then the value is dividend, right? No. It's wrong. Is the session already expired? If the session is already expired, we will do the global setup first. So instead of using this here, we have to, no, we will use this here, but we have to do this in a global setup. So let's do that. What I saw in the docs is authentication here. Reuse signed and state. Here is a global setup.js. Playwright provides a way to reuse sign and state in tests. That way you can log in only once and then skip. What I'm wondering regarding this global setup is how do I, like, where should I create these files ideally? To set up once, use global setup option in the configuration file. That is what I wanted to know. So module, I can do it here. Module exports, no, it's part of the config. What? Oh no, I can do it like this. Okay. So add this, Chromium, and okay, launch, new page, go to projects is not necessarily what I want to use, but I didn't define different projects, so I'm not sure if that works or if it is a project by default, but we will try. Go to base URL. No, I would have expected it goes to the base URL by default because it's in the config. So let's just try this and see what happens. Yeah, something's wrong there. So I will just do this exactly how it says it should be done, just to see. But it's not happy about this setup here. So I assume there should be only one module exports. Specify global setup base in the configuration file. Tests start already authenticated because we specify was populated by global setup. It says global setup JS, so okay, my bad. It's this what this is talking about. Global setup. I understood. And this stuff here should be out of here. But we don't do global setup there. Again, I don't want to have this stuff in the root. So we do tests e2e / global setup. Global setup JS. Yeah. I'll do it in the states as well. Okay, states. And now here I need to do this. This and then first this. So let's just do that and see what happens. Something's wrong because of this. Yes. Test. Tests. Okay. Okay, now because in here it says blah blah bloop path storage state. Okay, that is where it should be stored in the config. but I don't want to pass that there. So we will do the path ourselves in, is that relative to, should be relative to the root, tests e2e states / basic user.json. To validate, I will remove the user JSON here. If you hear my cat, sorry, she found something important that she wants to tell us. And I won't go to base URL. Again, I expect it will go to base URL anyway. Where's this page coming from? Here. Oh, here. Browse a new page. Let's see. This one. So it should create the basic user JSON. And I don't know if it does. No, let's do a something is not right because what? Maybe I do have to use base URL here for whatever reason in global setup. So then in that case we do base URL /p. Let's try again. It's a very silent thing, Playwright. So that is something I enjoy in Cypress a little more. I can always open the UI. I think this can be done here as well. I just didn't set it up. Then I have a watcher, and basically instead of this, I have the Cypress UI here and always see what's happening. That is a bit better in my, I'm a visual debugger, let's put it this way. I put in console logs and things like that, so that is a bit easier for me in Cypress. Maybe because I'm used to it, but yeah, so here, for example, no idea what's happening. Where is it outputting the problem? Still running the test. I don't know what this is, whatever. Okay, but it can't fill this in because it doesn't find the stuff. That's what I assume. So let's add the correct code. And that is this. Let's stop this. This is the correct code. And now we need to store this context page. Yes, that looks good. Okay. Let's go. Now we should get our very own basic user.json. There we go. And it's filled with minimal things because I didn't wait again for the login to be loaded, redirected after the login. Let's try this once more. Basic user should now be, yes, a lot more. And that, my friends, is how you log in once before all your tests. And now, with this basic setup in place, I should be able to use basic user here and create the activity. So if I remove that, this test should fail because there is no logged in state. Let's try it. Yeah, so this will fail because it's on the logged in page. Great. And if I put that in, it uses the authentication of the global configuration where I log in and store the authentication in the user JSON, and I use this for this particular test here, which now should succeed. Oops, I'm sorry. It works, it works, it works. That is awesome. All right, so now let's create the activity in the first place. So we can reuse this test. I mean, this is not nothing. Test parameter test query param, or yeah, whatever. So let's test a few more. We will also do asset type equals security and esin equals, and now we need the Apple esin. Apple esin, and now we should have a few more awesome things on this page. Now if I do debugger, or I mean I can launch it, but so Apple should be pre-selected. So expect page located text Apple to be visible. What I also expect is a dividend, exactly. And that this one is 0. That is very important to have value 0. Test query params. Test dividend and Apple query params. So that is already a very useful test here for us. That will save us a lot of trouble if that fails for whatever pull request happens. So let's see if it works. Yes. Yes. No. Expected has type number. Expected has a value. Received. Oh, okay. There is probably a e2e number or something. 2e. No. Number 2 equal. Yes, 2 equal. Oh, and it should be value, of course. Locator. Because the value is always a string. Okay, then I can test for a string here. It's also okay. So maybe this one works. Thanks, Sebastian. Oops. This is what I have on the other screen. It worked. It worked. All right. We have a very useful test, and here we actually create an activity. So let's do by. I will check that the type is by, and then the price here should be automatically calculated. So if, oh no, I will put in an esin to make things easier for this test as well. And then this test should probably be below that one. So what I want to have is Apple pre-selected. I have a by here. I will input a different date. I wonder how date inputs work. Probably not a difference. Let's see. Docs. Input. Text input here. Date. Let's do 1/1/22. Oops. Oh my God. 2020. So then there should be a price here. That is also a very specific test, which even checks if we have a, let's say, correct price. And then we enter into the shares field. We enter three, and then we expect the sum here. We expect the sum to be 104.94.34. All right, let's look at that. That was fast. I also noticed that go-to here reloads the page, of course, so I don't need this. for create activity. I can go directly to the, and here the same. I don't need that it goes to the portfolio dashboard. And now I click on save. My cat again. How is it if, like, how can I query a button that includes the name tag, the name speichern, but it's not a direct child, like there is another span around it. I wonder how that works. But is this the only button with submit? There are a lot of buttons here, but I hope it's the only one with submit. Does it even have submit? No. Damn. We don't have enough IDs, damn it. I will add an ID for this one. So this is the create activities. We have a button speichern. And we do it, ID is save activity button. So we can now do a click. Page locator save activity button dot click, and what happens then is we are back at our portfolio. So expect, what was the page expectation? Expect, where did we do this? Expect URL to be, because that was great. Oh, here. Expect page to have URL p/ and then the portfolio ID. I can't write regex. P. Do I have to escape the slash? Oh my god, I have no idea what I'm doing on this one. I'm not getting into Googling regex here because it will completely destroy my little reputation as a programmer. To have URL. Give me more examples here. Give me more copy paste examples. URL or reg expression. So let's just do this. I hope they respect the base URL. It doesn't say in the docs if they respect the base URL. Let's see. Let's try. Go. No shame in Googling regex patterns. I'm so bad with regex patterns, it's embarrassing. Okay, this takes too long. Probably something wrong. Stop. And debugger, please. Oh, it doesn't input a date correctly. Oh, because it's probably not named date. It's date field. Yeah. Clicking away these errors in debug is also a bit cumbersome. Yeah, I can see why that will fail, because we have to wait for the API request, basically. How do I do that? Wait for element state, wait for selector. I guess, can I wait for an amount of time? Pause or something? Pause the script, exit Playwright, script, and wait for the user to press resume. No. Request, what does this do? Whenever the page sends a request for a network resource. Okay. On request finished is probably where I have to continue. I will try something. I don't know if that works, because I have no idea. There are no examples here. So what I will try is, when I change the date, I do this page on, and then I guess I have to pass another function. Async. No idea what I'm doing here. I'm just guessing. So it arrives on the page. It does. Wait, what? Successful? Did it do everything? I don't think so. We can test by checking. There are two. No, there is only one activity, so I don't think anything happened. Wait for response and the example from the docs instead. Okay, thanks Max, that sounds good. Wait for response, there is an example. I like that. Waits for the next response with this specified URL. Cool. Okay. That sounds reasonable. Wait for response, and the response is if I change the not asset, Apple. If I change the date it creates a request to quotes. Probably have to parameterize, whatever, use parameters for this one, or env variables, because obviously when we run this on production, yeah, but for now we will not run this on production. Let's see if that works. I need a slow-mo mode, I think. That I don't think this was successful. Page, wait for response. I mean, but this passed. But I fear I do something wrong with the await here. But I think I mean, if I put that away, it fails, right? Oh, we can test if it was successful. I can check if there is a new activity. No, so it wasn't. Okay, I didn't know I have to do the promise all. Chat says I need to do the promise all just like in the example. Wait for request. I would have thought this is just, I don't know, in case I want to wait for multiple requests that are happening. But okay. Let's do it like this. And the click, I don't have a click event. Triggers the request. Waits for the next. Oh, I do the wait for first and then trigger the request. So it's basically this. If I understood this correctly. Could make sense. No. Something is wrong and it's very hard to understand what. Max says it looks good though. Waits for the next request and then is triggered by the fill. Oh, alternative way with a predicate. Ah, okay. I guess wait for response is correctly not using the base URL defined in the config. But I mean, how can I debug this? Can I put a debugger in here that tells me what's up? Breakpoints. So it's not finishing successfully for whatever reason. No. Well, Max, thank you for hanging out and helping so much. Very, very helpful. And have a good Sunday. Sports and climbing is a much more rewarding activity than coding here on a live stream. And it's very sunny outside. I will go outside too later. Maybe a few more minutes here. Figure something out. Enjoy your day, Max. Thanks for helping. Everyone who's doesn't know who Max is, he's on the Playwright team at Microsoft and luckily joined us today here and helped me out quite a bit. So thanks a lot. You should follow him on Twitter. I will post his profile into the chat. This is his profile. And follow him for Playwright info, content, and probably some more. All right, so this doesn't work. I mean, I can't test for the, but it's okay. I can test this a different way. So I cannot test this part here. Does not work until we figure out how to wait for the API request. The rest should work though. So let's go with that. And when it finishes successfully, I should see a second activity here. There is no way that this worked. Why is this successful? Or maybe it is. No, it isn't. Why is there no error? Oh, okay, this is wrong. But still, come on. I do a comma here and then I don't like that. Yeah, that's what I also thought, Sebastian. Wait for the value, which I think is almost the same. So yeah, this should also fail because the price is not there. I don't know why. Did I pause? I want to pause in a specific state. That is also, I have to say that is better in Cypress. You have the visual UI and you can basically go through the test step by step and stop whenever, like at every of these steps, you can basically click in and see what the state was of the page. So maybe that's also possible here, but it's very hard to debug right now. So let's pause at this state to see what it looks like, because there should be a date in and there should be the shares field. Why? Oh. This is very frustrating. Yeah, I think that Sebastian, waiting for the value, I think, is is a good way to do it. But for now, I just want to understand why this thing always closes successfully. Oh my god, I executed the wrong test, people. Don't show this to anyone. There we go. Look at that. Maybe what was the error? It's dot. It's dot. Really? Okay. Okay. This is very embarrassing. So maybe this even works then with the await thingy that we had before. Let's get this back. This one. And this should be a dot, and this should be a dot. Oh my god, we clicked on the wrong test. Okay, let's see. The debugger and everything that we tried before probably worked if I didn't click the wrong test. Ah, nice. All right, okay. Things work, and it throws an error because the activity already exists, which is good, which is fine. So we delete this one. And now do this once more. And even waiting for the price field apparently works. Yes, 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 yes. Oh my god. So we have the activity here now. There it is. So we reach this state. So what I want to do is I want to test if the activity actually was actually created. So what I will do is I will click on activities, Aktivitäten. I don't want to do go to because it will reload the page. I want to do it like this. Page locator. Click. Then we have to wait for this one to show up. It's an h2 await page locator h2 locator. I assume two locators, like this is looking into the childs of these. Don't know. Text Aktivitäten to be visible. Wait for. Is that correct way to do it? Wait for. Yes, locator wait for. Which in and of itself kind of is a test, right? And then we need to have Apple show up here twice. I can't. The holding ID will not be the same, but there should be. How often is Apple appearing on this page? Oh, way too much. The easen. I can check for the easen. So expect page locator text equals easen. to be visible. I mean, it's more than one, then just do first. Oh no, let's do second. That's not possible, probably. How to get the nth element or something first. Returns locator first matching element. I want to check how many elements there are. Count elements. Is there a count? Count. Yes. Returns the number of elements matching the given selector. Okay. Count 2 equal 2. Yes, no? And then we need to delete the activity again. Otherwise, it's not a good way to have to clean up state like that, but let's see what the team says. Oh, no, count. Count is an object. What does count return? Count a promise. So like this, const count equals await expect count to equal 2. Maybe like this. No, it will fail. Go. I need to delete the activity before the test has it. No, that was too slow. One more time. All right. I think we did good progress. The test was successful. Fantastic. We had multiple tests and we had a major, like the setup around it, what we did. So the only thing that I will do now, and then I will close for today, I will stop for today, is delete the activity. So what I need to do is I need to click on this button. I will delete the activity and then stop the stream. So this time I will go to the edit page. So go to, do I know the activity ID here? No, I don't. Okay, so I will do this inside the test. Wait, what button is this? Button, line action. How do I know? Boy, this will be tough if there is a big list. In this case, I mean, it's the only button here, but if there are multiple activities, I need to find exactly that one. So that is a bit tougher to do. Damn it. Okay. There is a link here, and that is probably the only link there where I can say page locator regex again. Like, I don't know the activity ID that was created, unfortunately, which I probably can get out of the request that happened and things like that, but I don't want to do that now. So I will look for line action with an ARIA label. Let's see if that works. ARIA label. Click. And this should bring me to a URL. To have URL. Now I need this regex again to check if I'm on the edit page of an activity. Do I have to wait for the redirect? Yes. So wait for await page locator text equals Aktivität bearbeiten. Wait for. So then I should be here. Let's see if that works. And then I want to click on delete activity. Of course this will fail now because I still haven't deleted the activity. Await page locator button. No, text equals Aktivität löschen dot click. Click. How can I handling alerts? Is that possible? Alert. Oops. Alert. Page on dialog. By default, dialog are auto dismissed by Playwright, so you don't have to handle them. However, you can register a dialog handler. Okay, and alerts. Must handle it, otherwise your action will stall. Let's see what they do on the let's see. Thanks for chilling with us, Sebastian. Have a good Sunday. What's happening here? This is looking for the label. Yeah, it can't work. So let's do line action click. Can stop. So let's do line action click. It will open this one, and then we will click on a drop down action. Click and then drop down action locator text equals bearbeiten click. Löschen. Oh, we can do the delete directly from there. even without the edit. That's fast, even without the alert. That might be quite a bit faster. So let's try. Okay, we come to the activities creation page. We fill out everything, save it, and there are multiple line actions, I guess, right? 3 elements. Why? Let's see. Line action 1. Ah, okay. Okay, I understand. So this is Aktivität verwalten. Okay, then we will go to this one. Aria label equals Aktivität verwalten. Should be only 1, hopefully. Go. Of course. Delete, löschen. This is very cumbersome with the state, to have state in the tests and yeah, end-to-end tests. I guess it's a common problem. We have to solve it at some point. We can't get around this. Still 2 elements. God damn it. Stop. So there are still 2 elements if I look for this button, which, you know, pretty sure that's true. Can I do regular CSS selectors here? I will try it. It should be drop down action. Where's the drop down? No, it should be. So we will do line action button group, and from there it should be a button, and in there it should be div nth child 2, and then this button. That is a big selector, and the reason is I'm not sure if nth child will work here, and if 2, if there's the correct number of it, should be 3. Nth child, I think, starts also at 0. Let's see. Yes, yes, yes. Oops. No, it doesn't find that one. Yeah, I have to make it easier to find that button. So what I will do is, I mean, even then, even if I give it an ID, it will be hard to find exactly that one. Locating the elements should not be such a problem. Where's the other button, by the way? Line action. This one and this one. Just two. Why? Why is this a button with line action and this one isn't? It's also not how it's supposed to be. Line action button, is that true? No. Line action wrapper, line action button group, line action, oh, because it's an A tag. Yeah, alright. Line action, line action, line action. Line action button group is what's around. So this is where we want to click on the löschen handler, but it's not visible until you hover that. So maybe I can do a hover. Let's try this. Hover, element handle, okay, hover. Let's try that. I will hover it, and then these three buttons should be visible. Well, no, it doesn't matter. It's still not. Should click this one and then click delete. Clicking delete is not the problem. Clicking the three dots is the problem. How can I click the three dots? Just for testing this, ellipsis, ellipsis. I will give it a name. Or a name, probably better. And then do name, activity context menu, click. And as there is only one activity, hopefully that will work. Oh no, this will fail again. Oh, damn it. Löschen, go, stop, and start. yes. Oh my God. I want to get finished now, so I can't do mistakes like that. Right. Delete the activity. Maybe to clean up a test suite, we don't have to sign in the beginning, but we have to sign up. Resolve to 2 elements, okay. Okay, we solved the activity context menu one. Let's solve this one as well. There are two. There is twice löschen here. Really? Drop down action and this one. Which one is the first one? Ah. No. The first one is from something that doesn't really exist or shouldn't exist. So we will do... Oh, look, it has a test ID. That is probably pretty helpful. Test ID, edit activity button. Then this is delete activity button, and the other one that is being found here should not be visible at all, not be rendered at all. No, there are multiples here as well. Bearbeiten, löschen. Let's see where the second one is. Löschen. Löschen. Which one is this one? Oh, is that for mobile? Is it this one? Oh, okay. Why is there a different contract? No, is it? Yeah, there is a different one for mobile, which we don't need here, but I guess, but yeah, currently there is a different one for mobile. Okay, in that case we will name löschen, löschen, as this is now the delete activity button on desktop, I hope. Yes, we can use the data test ID to do that. So I will delete it here. I will go to this one and we can do data test ID equals delete activity button. You can go, and now this test passes and we can all move on with our Sunday. Yoo-hoo! Passed, and there should be no activity here. Shit. Context menu, delete. Oh, because it says it does the cancel. Okay, so I have to fix the alert. So there is a, I don't know why it says dialog, but let's see. On Page on dialog, dialog accept. Let's see if that fixes it. Go. There should be no activity. No. I don't know. The prompt. By default, blah, blah, blah. The following snippet will never resolve. It will hang here. Why? Must handle the dialogue. Oh, because, okay. Let's do on alert, maybe. Maybe that's the thing we were waiting for. And also wait for the activity page to be loaded again. No, it will stay there, right? But we have to wait for something. So after we click that and the page is deleted, we will wait for this text. Wait for text equals keine Aktivitäten gefunden. I saw the alert. I saw the alert and it didn't. What's happening? Accept. Yeah. Click, click. I want this alert to be accepted. Oh no, it's a confirm. It's not an alert. It is a confirm. And it's not an alert. Okay, maybe that's the reason. So let's delete this. What are you doing now on the rest of your Sunday? Coding, going outside, watching other live streams. Why is this not working? Stop. Confirm. What does it say here? Handling JS confirm. Validate confirm text and click OK. On dialog. Expect. Oh, that's cool. Expect dialog message to equal expect dialog message to equal are you sure? And then await dialog accept. That looks more reasonable. Okay, awesome. Let's see if that works. Keep on reading clean architecture. You read that because you don't want to end up like me. Hey, this was successful. Was it? There should be no activity here. Great. Awesome. That worked. So let's run all tests. All of them should be green. Awesome. Okay. Let me quickly summarize what we did today. We learned a lot about Playwright thanks to the chat. It's almost 3 hours, damn it. We wrote tests, activity creation, query parameter passing to the activity form, sign up, deletion, logout. We also created a global setup for the tests. So there is a global login, and then the individual tests don't have to log in themselves. We will change that to a sign up. Let me do a quick comment in the global setup here. Change this to a sign up instead of sign in to avoid what's it called when like dirty state on failing tests. Yeah, so we have a global sign up. We will sign in, and we will change this to a sign up. So there is a new user for each test run. And ideally that user is cleaned up after the test as well. So we do this then in an after all or something like this. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And it will hopefully make our development a lot faster as we will avoid bugs. This is something that in the last few months or weeks, let's say, this came up more and more, simply because we developed a lot more. I'm now available full-time basically for Parqet, so there's a lot of development happening in the web app, and bugs that had been fixed in the past have been reintroduced, and tests will obviously avoid that or help to avoid that, and we didn't have enough tests. So this will give us a lot of confidence to release, especially as the project gets a lot more complex. Yeah, so thanks everyone for sticking around and helping me debug. This was definitely successful, and I will pitch Playwright to the team. There are a few annoyances here. I think it's not on the level of developer experience as Cypress yet, but on the other hand, it's much easier to set up. It seems a lot less flaky. And I still haven't figured out how to do this with render and the CI, which is more a problem with render, not with Playwright. But we will get there, one step at a time. That was it. The last thing to say is have a great Sunday, and I see you in the next live stream, next video. Not sure what that will be, but if there is anything specific you're interested in, you know what the drill is. Leave a comment, ping me on Twitter, and we will make it happen. See you then. Bye. There's no outro screen here.